A very good evening, good afternoon, and even good morning to our wonderful ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to have all of you to join us for our closing forum for the 11th Biennial Exposition Contemporary Dance Fiesta. What you just saw is actually the book launch by my wonderful mentor, Maggi, Siestsma, who is here, who has witnessed my growth as a festival director since 2001 to today. At the same time, also the first major dance company that we invited to perform exhibition at the Victoria Theatre in 2001. I also have my wonderful friend Shanny, who is also a dance editor at the Vancouver Dance Centre, to be able to moderate this session. And I hope all of us have a wonderful, fruitful discussion about this particularly interesting topic that is very hold dearly in my heart. So let's welcome Miss Shanny and Miss Maggi.
Hi everyone, my name is Shanny. I'm right now based in Vancouver, Canada, but I'm originally from Penang, Malaysia. So I'm so happy and honored to be moderating this closing forum for the 11th Exposition O. I haven't met any of you in person, but I really look forward to. I connected with Danny earlier this year, and he contributed a really good article to the latest issue in Dance Central, talking about driving global dance synergies. So I'll just start away by asking Danny a little bit about the history of Xposition, since we're going to talk about the past, present, and future of dance festivals. So Danny, can I ask you to talk a little bit about the history of Xposition O and how what inspired you to start this festival back in 2001?
I think it's very interesting beginning for me when I came back to Singapore in 1999, realizing that how do we develop the professional dance scene in Singapore at the point of time when we didn't have Esplanade Theatre, we didn't have really much strong technical able dancers that can actually able to perform in a full-time professional dance company setting. We didn't even have much opportunity to see very good dance companies, contemporary dance companies per se at that point of time. So my whole idea was about how do I link in terms of tertiary dance education that can set a bar for our local dance pupils. How can I actually bring in terms of a professional dance company that able to set the bar for us to learn and grow. Yeah, so this is how I first started in 2001, really to create great bars with more than 100 international artists flew in, just to ensure that within the 10 days, we're able to set certain kind of, I would say certain bars in the local dance scene and also in the region to start to communicate, start to share, start to also exchange, and really seriously looking at how are we going to embrace professional dance artists coming home? For example, like for myself, coming back in 1999, what was the prospect for me? Even I have an MFA, people thought that I work for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, isn't it? But no, I said that this is Masters in Fine Arts, that was rather alien for them at the point of time. So I think the festival was very important statement from an organization point of view. Also Dance Limited, I stress limited because it's an organization with a bigger mission to actually celebrate, with lots of people in the arts, of course, expanding beyond arts. So we actually have to mobilize lots of resources to engage all stakeholders. And I was really happy at that point of time. We actually managed to bring in more than, I think, 30 embassies join us, to be honest. And all the events were hosted by embassies, even like, especially dance company was hosted by the Australian High Commission. And then we had the Hong Kong AP was hosted by the Hong Kong ETO. So it was something that I felt that, yeah, we did the right thing with a good start, good energy. And here we are after 20 years, we're still talking about Exposition. And in fact, we just launched a book, which I'm very happy to make a statement about what it is like to have a festival in Singapore, in Asia. At that point of time, and even right now, what are we standing here for in terms of festival?
Congratulations on the launch of the book. Maggi, on to you. Danny and I, we were talking briefly about how you two met, but if you can share with us how you two met and what sparked this long-standing and, mentor relationship over 20 years.
Well, I met Danny when he was studying in Brisbane, Australia at QUT. And I actually don't remember whether he saw a show that we were presenting or not. It's a long time ago. But anyway, he introduced himself to me and had the courage, a lot of people don't have the courage, to come up to me and say, can I come and watch your company work? This is what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, yes, he seems a very interesting young man. So he came and watched some rehearsals in our studio, and we got to talking, and he explained to me what he wanted to do, which was to start ODT, and how he wanted to do it. And I've always had a great love for Singapore because I was born there and lived there until I was 6 years old. So I have a real affinity for it. And I was really taken by Danny's passion and commitment to the art form and to what he could give back to Singapore, what he could develop in Singapore, how he could help the artists. And he was very taken with the way I had started Expressions and the educational process that we were undertaking, our theatrical process. And so we had lots of talks, and we developed a friendship, really. And I think a good mentorship is always one where the mentor, if you like, is interested in the person they're mentoring, and I really appreciated what Danny was trying to do. So I wanted to see if I could help in any way, but I never pushed anything, because I really believe that artists have to find their own way, their own expression, and that I'm there as a sounding board. I'm there to ask questions. Why are you doing that? What, and we went on. And when he went back to do his doctorate, I came on board a little bit as one of his advisors when he was doing his doctorate. And we've just kept in touch over these years and, reconnected, in fact, more recently, in the recent past as well. So, and I've been watching his career for so long that it's been fascinating.
Thank you. Well, talking about relationship, Danny, if I can ask you about the relationships that you have fostered over the years with Xposition, because I know cultural diplomacy is a key component of the festival. So can you talk a little bit about the collaborations that have come out of this festival?
Well, I'm very blessed that along these 20 years in running the festival, I've met many wonderful friends, artists, companies, associations, embassies, and so on and so forth. So these are the people that have showed great interest in my work and also encouraged me to drive new ideas and new possibilities. So the relationship is not so superficial, like whereby you just invite artists to perform and go, but it's about how do you cultivate long-term trust with something that I appreciate greatly, that actually entered into a deep relationship. For example, we have signed one very important MOU with the South Korean Dance Association that actually expanded the scope of support to 6 major programs or projects across 3 years. Even our organization or our dance company, also Dance here, toured 6 cities in South Korea. So it's actually deepening in terms of the process, and also create more other platforms and opportunities for us to build greater networks and support to other artists and companies who may not actually come into our festival. Similarly, with the understanding, I remember in 2011, I spearheaded a festival on tour, because we felt that after 10 years, the festival needs to revamp. And it's no longer just to bring artists and companies to Singapore, because even you bring artists and companies to Singapore, it's too costly just to buy a ticket, isn't it? So how do we multiply the opportunities for them to tour beyond Singapore shore? So we did very successfully since 2011. We actually had opportunity, not only have a festival in Singapore, but at the same time, we had the festival on tour.
So Maggie, I was wondering if you'd like to talk a little bit about, your observation of the Xposition O Festival over the years, over 20 years. What are the biggest change you've observed? And as a mentor, how would you like to talk about the growth of the company too under Danny's leadership?
Right. Well, I'm absolutely amazed, actually, by the growth of the company. You know, from this tiny fledgling little company that was only, I think, 2 years old when we came to perform at the Victoria Theatre for the first, in 2001, for the first festival. And, you know, Danny was already trying to get educational programs happening and lots of things happening, to the company that it is today, with these different divisions looking after education, looking after social welfare areas. I mean, it's extraordinary. And I'm really proud of Danny, and Singapore should be incredibly proud of Danny, because what he's done is no mean feat. And and the fact that he's kept the festival going as well is, you know, another string to his bow, really. The festival, yes, it's evolved, and as a lot of festivals do, you know, every time someone presents a festival, they're always looking for new ways to entice audiences to the theatre, or to engage the local communities, or to look at education. Do we do a solo festival? Do we just present all female choreographers? Do you know, everyone's looking for ways to make each festival different. And Danny has done that as well over the years. And but I think what he did the last festival, doing the festival on tour, was really extraordinary. The fact that he could present in Singapore his festival, but then that same festival was presented around the world. I mean, seriously? That's pretty incredible. You know, I was really astonished and really thrilled and really proud of him for doing that. And then again this year, you know, what I've always appreciated about Danny is the fact that he's so flexible. He can find new ways to achieve his goals, and he and his great team. I mean, you know, you're never alone when you're an artistic director. You always have people behind you helping you and supporting you, and they've done an amazing job. And his board of directors, and you know, they've all done a great job. And then again this year, with the difficulties that the whole world is facing, the whole world in dance is facing with COVID, to present a festival that is so, again, multifaceted is really quite astonishing. And so yes, it's grown up. It's really interesting. It's grown up from being just this very small little, you know, 2 performances with 3 different organizations and a few workshops, to what it is today. And it takes time, and it takes willpower and courage and trust and honesty and integrity and all those things, and tenacity. And Danny's shown us all that he has the tenacity and the talent to do it. So, you know, bravo, that's all I can say.
It's sheer hard work. Very hard work.
Yeah, hard work, I know.
Yeah.
I understand. But I have seen lots of festivals all over the world, and you know, we've performed at so many. But you know, what Danny is doing is up there amongst them. So yeah, the whole company should be thrilled.